Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode, episode 127. We're nearly there now, folks. La Vuelta, stage 19 of 21. Stage 21 is a sprint. Stage 19, on paper, there should be no splits. No splits whatsoever, but you quick sim, you're going to see splits that could be good or bad for us. We don't know how that's going to go. I think we're going to take our chances with that because there's a better chance of a positive outcome with the random, oh, it's a punchy stage, than if we were to go and play it. There's no way you're going to see a split. Everybody's going to be on same time other than the weakest climbers. Here, we at least have a chance to move up because we're in second place. Stage 20, by the way, that's the mountain stage. That's one we're going to focus on and play. And other than Il Lombardia, it's the last couple of stages we're going to be doing for PCM22 with PCM23 on the way in just a couple of days. Chergai and Martinez get same time as the leaders group. Glogue winning the stage though. And then we are Piccioni losing 17 seconds. So in the overall, Glogue wins the stage, so he gains 10 more seconds. We are a minute 54 down. We have a huge gap, 3 minutes behind us. We don't have to worry about others. It's about whether we can beat Glogue on that final stage, which doesn't look great, but you never know. Piccioni, though, is now 1 second behind Lucas Plapp for 5th place. So getting him back into the top 5 will be our objective, I think, more so than the Glogue thing, because I just don't think we're going to manage to beat Glogue, and Plapp is better. Plapp is definitely better. And the Ineos leader, that's not going to be easy. They also have another rider in the top 10 like we do, but beating Glogue with that 81 mountain just does not feel like it's going to go terribly well for us, especially with a 2-minute gap now to overcome. But Piccioni, it's 1 second. I think we might be able to manage to get him a couple of seconds, hopefully. Stage 20, the next climb should be quick and easy. The action's going to pick up somewhere around that intermediate sprint point. Breakaway has 6 minutes. That's one I want to keep an eye on as riders in the breakaway. The closest is just under 13 minutes down, 12:50 or so, and Piccioni is at 6.5. So we want to make sure that they don't gain more than 6 minutes if they are going to go on and win the stage, to help keep Piccioni's position secure from that breakaway group, which is now out to 7.5 minutes. So at some stage we may have to contribute. However, speaking of contribution, I think I might be more inclined to contribute along the lines of trying to make something happen, both for Piccioni but also for Lenny Martinez, who sits second overall, but at 2 minutes down on Glogue. We want EF Education to use up their guys here early on. If we contribute, we take the pressure off them. That's not going to help us. We need to keep the pressure on them. But right now, they're riding without pressure. So it's really not doing much good. But they are using their guys up, at least to an extent. Really, a good few of them. Now, speaking of guys, I have one who is rather useless right now, Abner Gonzalez. His legs are just done. His fitness is into the low 80s. He has fatigue. He's drawn a -5, which is a lot worse than what was expected. Speaking of a lot worse than expected, Lenny Martinez has drawn a -3 today, which still gives him a +1 overall, but without a solid boost to go from. I don't think Lenny Martinez has a chance at gaining 2 minutes on Glogue, who's been fantastic throughout this race. So that being said, I think we're going to have to play more to defending the 3-minute advantage that he has under the circumstances. Piccioni, though, Piccioni's got a +5. So we're going to go ahead and get that water, final water for the day. Gonzalez doing the dirty work since he's the one without the legs. 10 minutes now to that break is already entering that danger zone. We might have to start trying to put our foot down for the sake of Piccioni here sooner rather than later, and the hope of putting Plapp under pressure and gaining that 1 second. The intermediate sprint I had hopes of. We were only 2.5, 3 minutes behind that breakaway until just before I went live for the stage, and all of a sudden EF was just like, yeah, nope, it's all good, let him go. and that gap's just going out more and more and more. So instead of waiting for the final climb, I think we might have to be a little active on the next climb. Is the gap coming down? 10:40 as of right now. It was 11, right? Is it going to continue to come down? Speaking of 10:30, and yes, it is coming down now. Set ourselves up to hold position. Peloton already down to 96 during the descent. Some riders lost contact, down to 92. Tempo has gone up a lot. Lucas Hamilton leading things out, 77 mountain rating for him. And here comes that's Bosch in 10th place for Ineos, putting the pressure on. He's not the threat, though. It's his teammate that's the threat. Enric Mas was in the breakaway. Was he not? But that's your 10, 11, 13th place, guys. Yeah, EF. Continue to work. Chase. Gonzalez, already done. And Dina Biel, 8th place overall, trying to match those guys. Now that is starting to look like a threat to Piccioni. Speaking of, let's double check. Piccioni is 6:31 down. And Dina Biel, only a 30-second difference. Definitely a bit closer than the other guys. So we've got to make sure that if there's not a chase happening, we are going to have to pick up that mantle. And look how tired we are, from totally fresh to, oh wow, we're going deep. Has happened quite quickly on this climb. Just 2K left on the climb, just 55 riders left, plus the 4 off the front. So 59 left, plus the breakaway left in contention, and there was definitely guys in the teens, standing wise. And now McKellar is going backwards. 700 meters, we are going to save the gels. Let's hope that Panamar makes it over the top. I'm not sure about McKellar, but we're down to 44 here in the Peloton. McKellar does not, but Panamar does. He'll get some recovery in, which is good. We don't need water anymore, which is good. 41 left. Still chasing those guys, and still a bit of a gap to cover. In fact, I'm nervous about one of them. Did we bring back Vendita? No. Vendita Biel is here. It's Moss we brought back. I think Moss was in the break. I didn't see him attack. That's Hilmos. We brought Moss back. I think Moss was in the break. I think he's just done at this stage. But Panamar is getting recovery. The 4 leaders are getting recovery. And we need to now shift this over to Piccioni, the primary leader today. Chergai is definitely not. But Chergai will get him behind Piccioni. Now, the reason why we ride for Piccioni is all he needs is 1 second. Martinez, he's not going to lose 3 minutes in this last climb. He's not going to gain 2 minutes in this last climb. Martinez, his position is secure. He will ride for Piccioni today to see what we can do to get 1 second. So, 41. Those 3 have a 40-second advantage, and 30 seconds is enough to unseat Piccioni from 6th and drop him to 7th. So we have some work to do to catch those guys. We're going to do it on the climb, though. Certainly not on the flat, but Piccioni and Garzone will gel up first. Panamar, we're waiting a little bit closer to the climb. 17K to the top, and the climb is 9.8. So we want him gelled pretty much from the base, because we're going to have to push for the entirety of the climb. 5 guys, 10K. And we're bringing those 3 back. We're bringing those 3 back. That's good. Bausch. Thought I had you on auto, but I do not. There you go. Back up here. So, where was I at on that estimate? We have 5K until the base of the climb. We're going to go at about 3.5K out. There we go. Panamar gel. Garzone will gel right at the base of the climb. Jumbo Visma is doing the work, which means it's not even putting pressure on EF right now, which means we're probably going to want to, in the last 600 meters or so, put ourselves out there. And actually, that's probably when all Panamar gel kicks in a little earlier than I wanted it, about 500 meters earlier than I wanted it, but speed things up. 10K. Okay, that's the base of the climb. It just starts a little gradual. We don't need a 99, but I think we do need about an 88-ish. So Piccioni will follow Martinez today, who will follow Chergai, follow Garzone, who will follow Ponomar. Garzone, Gel, Ponomar. Oh, he's a puncher. He is a puncher. We'll use at least a little punch. Toynes leading it. Now we take over. Helmos has been caught. The other three were already caught, I believe. Yes, they have been. So those guys are no longer a threat, and actually other riders have already been dropped. Ponomar is about done. And we're at 8K. We'll go 87. Nope, we're going to go 85. Garzone is a mountain guy with an 81, but he is not a hills guy with a 74. So we want him climbing at that nice pace, that 85, and we want to put these guys under pressure. Soler, there we go. Carapaz, wow, such a strong field. Bringing back breakaway riders. Chergai has already gelled up. Martinez is struggling a little bit, but again, it's okay if we lose time. That's Plap attacking. That's actually a good thing for us that Plap is trying to attack, as he doesn't need to gain time. He needs to not lose time. So him going on the attack is good. 82 for Chergai, so Chergai now going to climb at his pace, and we're keeping Plap under pressure. I love that he's just right there ahead of us, because we could easily leave him behind. Here's Globe, there's Brenner. 3K to go. It's time to speed up. Globe, Brenner, we've already passed Plap. Plap is behind us now. 2K, Martinez is struggling here, but he's not out. Take a second, get these guys their free reign, and we can check in on the field. There's Foss, there's Orlov, who was in the break. There's Soler, tried to go forward and do something. Ardia's already behind us. Hurlkas, Pierre Latour going out the back, now 75, 76. And there is your 18 riders. Johannesson, I'm guessing we're going to see, there's Carapaz. Svestad, Van Dienabiel, Van Wilder. There's Van Gils, who is in third. Here's Plap. So Plap is still right there. You've got Russell in 15th. There is Bosch in 10th. So we brought him back as well. And then, of course, there's Holter. But the two key guys here are Brenner and Gloag going for it. They are 28 seconds ahead. Oh, look at Gloag struggling. But Martinez, you can see, doesn't have enough in the tank for him to really do anything. We have dropped a multitude of riders here as we catch Gloag and put him under pressure. Piccioni has a little something. We need 1 second. I think that can come down at the end. If we can get a little separation. Martinez is done. Martinez is done. We've put our teammate under pressure, but again, he's got 3 minutes to spare, so him staying and sitting on is not bad. But Plap, nothing doing. He's still right there. Chergai is going to continue to lead things out as fast as he can. He's got nothing in the tank, but Piccioni with 3.7K needs to gel. So does Martinez, and Piccioni can sprint at the end, but he is not a sprinter. Can he gain 1 second of separation? Here comes the stage win. The last few riders from the break. Van Sevenent, Kwiatkowski, 2.3K. Brenner is attacking. Let's follow Brenner with Piccioni, as I think we can easily... Hey! That's why I don't use that stupid button. We commit to follow, and what happens? Nothing. That's why I don't use that button, because now we have to catch this rider. Piccioni, sprint. Martinez, do not sprint. Follow Bosch. Oh, it's a technical run-in. Didn't know that was coming, so Piccioni's sprint here. Brenner's not a threat, but this is... Oh, that's Bosch. There's Plap right there. We're not going to gain a second for Piccioni. So stupid on that part. He's going to get stuck in 6th place because of that stupid hill stage. So Piccioni 6th, Martinez, he's got 2nd locked up. Big splits in the field, but not of the key guys. Not a big surprise on a stage like this, and definitely not a surprise with Martinez only on the +1 that he was not able to do anything special. Only a handful of breakaway riders survived, 5. Brenner was first otherwise. He might have gained a couple of seconds, but from 4th place literally means nothing to us. But Gloag was right there. Plapp was right there. Those were the 2 guys we were racing today, and technically we were actually just behind them. Gloag actually even managed to gain 4 seconds there at the end, so Martinez is going to finish a minute 58 down with Van Gils and Brenner on same time. Wow, talk about close for the podium. Of course, also close for the top 5 with Piccioni 1 second back, 6:35 down. Arnsman, Van Dieterbiel, Bosch, Everett round out the top 10. Martinez will win the under 25s classification with Piccioni in 3rd place, and we comfortably take the team classification with an 11:32 advantage. The final stage is a sprint stage. It will not change anything. Stage 21, I'm going to try something tricky here. Oh gosh, look at those race day conditions. Ouch. Speed things up a little bit. Martinez, you don't need to speed things up too much, but there you go. Martinez can now sit up. He's got a +5 at least. Gonzalez only has a -2 today. We are not letting that breakaway escape for Mark Affini. Here's why. I checked. There is a time bonus for the intermediate sprint, and the points classification is decided already. Gloag has a huge advantage. He cannot be reached, not even close. Van Gils actually is also only 4 points ahead of Lenny Martinez. So Martinez, we can still grab 2nd. And then we can go get that time bonus for Piccioni. So we are going to be aggressive for the next 35 kilometers, stopping any breakaway from happening. And so let's set everyone to, 73. Try that. Piccioni sit on, and we're going to find a couple of guys to protect our couple of leaders. Probably the weakest ones, like Gonzalez. He's not going to last. So protect Martinez. Panamar, go ahead and protect Piccioni. And we're going to set the other guys. There are 3 riders 25 seconds ahead. Set them to relay. Let them have a little advantage. Others won't want to attack right now, and at just 30 seconds, we can easily pull them back when the time comes. 28K. 38 seconds is a little much, so we're going to speed up. 40 seconds. 4 of us can chase down 3 of them. 47. Push a little harder. I do have those 2 more riders who are not recovering right now, by the way. And it's out to a minute 3. There's your first attempt by someone to break out and get away from the group. 15K. Okay, start to bring them back. 13K. Martinez, Gonzalez, those guys are up to full strength. 10K? Okay. Full gas effort here. Can't mess this up. It's at a minute 17. We're splitting off the front group as they've dropped riders. Now there's only 2 guys relaying. It's going to make the catch a little bit easier. There's a little uphill as well as we go through here. We should be able to pull this off, and once we back off, Peloton should ease up and come back together, and our 2 main guys are in good shape anyway. Piccioni is the one who needs the seconds. Martinez needs the points. So those are your 2 sprinters for this. And then we need a lead out of somebody with good flat rating. Gonzalez does not have it, but who does? Does anybody? Bausch very much does. And Panamar and McKellar. Bausch, Panamar, McKellar are the strongest. Bausch is the fastest, so we'll get him for that last stage. Then Panamar and McKellar. And then we'll use up the other 3 guys here early on to chase. Gonzalez is the freshest. So we'll put him there. And then Chergai and Garzone. Going 99 with a 72 flat rating. Everybody else pulling in 9K. No mistakes. We have got to go hard to make sure we succeed at this. 8K already. Garzone is done. On to Chergai. On to Gonzalez. And we're down to just 2 riders off front and 6K. It looks like we are going to succeed in pulling them back. 5K will come around this quarter before we swap things out for McKellar. Okay, now we got to watch out the ability for them to sprint. So this time we're going to go 97 for McKellar. Give him that little bit longer. We're also creating that bigger gap to those behind us just in case somebody wants to sprint. 2.9K, that's the start line. Panamar taking over. I think we might just do it here. 2.1K. There's no break. And we have less than 1K to go. 500 meters. Bausch drop to third. Piccioni go first. There you go. We get Piccioni through first. Picking up Martinez. Oh, that was only 2 points. Okay, but Piccioni picks up 3 seconds. That's enough. He is going to overtake. I guess he can sit up. Actually, make them all just sit up now. We have succeeded. Martinez still needs a couple more points if he's going to get into second, which means at the finish line, he's going to need to get some points. So let's look at the map. Oh, profile. And let's see, what is the finishing points like? He needs 2 points to catch. He needs 3 points to claim, which means he needs to finish 13th or better at the finish line. So we are going to sprint. We are going to sprint for Lenny Martinez at the finish. Final 11K, and now we ride for second place in the points classification. We've secured the seconds for Piccioni to get back up to 5th place here, and we now have 9K remaining. I do not have a sprint team here at all. Martinez himself is not good, and to get 3 points, he needs to finish at 13th or above. So with 8K to go, we're going to go flat out here, and we need to really start gelling up for these guys. 7K to go. 6K to go. Gonzalez leading it out. We do have the front position we want, and 6K to go. Piccioni is not going to be part of the sprint. It's going to be let out for Martinez, but Piccioni getting the free ride. I didn't want to waste any chance and potentially put him out. So with 5, now 4K to go, we're on to Chergai. Chergai is not good on the flat. We need Panamar. Panamar now going. These guys can follow. Try to break the toe of anybody else behind us, but 3.1K. Martinez cannot handle a long sprint, but these guys are not sprinters, so we're going to get the acceleration going for Panamar at 2.1K. Now McKellar, and there's McKellar is fast, and McKellar is damaging his teammates big time. But Martinez has a little bit left right now as he heads for the line, but can he hang on? I want him to follow a little bit longer. Now we go with Martinez. Right now it's looking like we might get a top 13, but here comes the sprinters, and this is going to knock us back. Bausch and McKellar need to like freeze. This one position could matter for Martinez to overtake them because they're still got quick guys coming. Lowy takes the win. We are Martinez 12th. He gets 12. Yes. Oh yeah. Woo! Bausch, we were able to drop behind him. McKellar still got 9th. McKellar was too fast. But that one position, almost mattered. That one position very much almost mattered. So we were able to slow one guy down enough to make sure his teammate didn't steal it from him. But we do, with a lead out, get Martinez. I think that's 4 points. He was 2 points back. That's going to bump him to second in the points classification. Little bonus caveat for us. So second in the points, second in the GC, first in the under 25s, first in the team classification, and we get Piccioni back up to 5th place. That's a good day. Confirmation that the seconds did work out. So Martinez finishes second overall behind Gloag. Van Gils is third. Brenner is fourth. And Piccioni back above Plapp into 5th place. And in real life, Ineos would have defended against that. They would have seen what we were up to. The Van Gils one, probably not. Like trying to get Martinez those few points to overtake Van Gils, they wouldn't have cared about that. KOM goes to Damian Kwiatkowski, the under 25s. Martinez, of course, and the team classification confirmation that we win it by a wide margin. We were the best team. We got multiple guys into the top 5, but Thomas Gloag was just too damn good, and we were not able to overtake him. Not very many good race day conditions there for Martinez showing up, but of course we quick simmed most of the stages along the way so that we could wrap things up because, PCM23 is about to start. With a month to go in the season, we currently stand in second place behind Ineos in both the World Tour rankings and the Super Prestige rankings, but are very, very close to them. This is a good sign of the potential of getting that first place slot before the end of things, as Itsuki Azumi has won stage 5 of the the Croatian race, and after a top 2 finish on the previous climbing stage, that has put him ahead of Alejandro Osorio in the overall race lead with just a stage to go. That could be some good solid points gains for us. Final stage had 2 tiny little cobbled sections, but otherwise was a simple sprint stage, and yet it still saw some significant time gaps. Huge time gaps spread out. Azumi, though, does claim the overall by 1 minute, with Osorio nowhere to be seen, far behind. Miskowskis ends up in 11th, Garzone in 14th. You could see a breakaway of 3 claiming a 15-minute victory, but then you're seeing gaps starting at 15:08, 15:23, 15:36, where Azumi falls in. Yeah, just completely unrealistic result under the circumstances. Johannes Peters has won the points classification at this one. Azumi is third in the KOM, wins the under 25s as well, and we are third in the team classification for that one. That's definitely good points going forward. Just a few races, handful of races left on the season. Down to 3 races left on the calendar. Lombardia, what's it called, Tour of Guangxi, the 2 World Tour races that remain on the season's calendar. Let's take a quick look and see what is ahead of us, what can be done. Pogačar is hands down going to win the World Tour ranking this year. It's Bernal behind him that have put Ineos a bit ahead, but we have Peters, we have Morgado in 10th, we have Martinez, who has jumped to 12th in World Tour rankings. Also from Ineos, though, you have Plapp, you have Vingegaard. They have incredible GC talent, definitely better than our talent in comparison. We're good, they're better, but we've amassed a lot of points. As a team, the World Tour rankings, you can see we have a significant advantage, a couple thousand points ahead of Jumbo Visma, a few thousand ahead of EF, but we are 500 points, just over 500 points behind Ineos in the World Tour rankings. Now in the Super Prestige, we've closed the gap a little bit, but we are still 850 points behind. That seems like we might not be able to overcome that one. Races, 1 small race left. Let's look at what is at stake. Now, of course, Ineos is going to be in the field, so are we. Winning by itself doesn't guarantee anything because Ineos is in that field too. So it's not like they wouldn't score points. But is it possible? Well, World Tour points for Tour of Guangxi. This is final standings. There's other points that are available. There's a lot of points that can be picked up. A win would be 300 World Tour points, 240 for Super Prestige. Remember, we're 850 behind and 500 behind. A first for us, a sixth for them. You can pick up a couple hundred points. You could pick up 130 points. The couple of hundred, especially if they're a little further down, 250 if they're only 10th, that feels like something. That feels like progress, but you're only going to gain 200 out of the 850. Super Prestige feels like we're not going to quite make it, but World Tour, maybe. What about Il Lombardia, though? As one of the 5 major races, Il Lombardia, you get 500 for winning. If they're 7th or below, we're gaining 350. So 2 good performances in those last couple of races wins. The World Tour ranks, I could see us maybe just overtaking Ineos, but Super Prestige, even if they're 9th, we're only gaining 200. If you gain 150 in the other, that's 350 combined. That's not going to make the 850 points we need. It looks like we're not going to overtake them in the Super Prestige, but the World Tour has a slight possibility that we could overtake Ineos. Let's get to the race and see what we can do. We are definitely going to be aiming for the win on this one, but they've got Bernal, they've got Plapp, they've got guys that are very likely to be in the podium, and maybe you beat them and finish 1 or 2 spots ahead of them and make gains, but not necessarily enough. I'm predicting that that's how it's going to go. In fact, I'm predicting more of, hey, we're going to be on the podium, we're going to be right there, we're going to be competitive, but you've got really, really good, strong, punchy guys that are going to be tough to beat. Guangxi might go a little bit better for us, but I'm also going to be playing that one out on paper. Il Lombardia will be our last race. That, however, will take place on our next episode and final episode of the series. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.